Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more. Sponsored by Gus Curran's House of Champions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Board Report. I'm Joanne Binford, and this is John Karapi.
How you doing?
Doing good. So we have a great show today, don't we, John?
We sure do. What we got on the lineup?
We've got Thomas Augustus, editor-in-chief of the Sunshine Journal, and Deana Accardi to update us on the fluoride issues that we've discussed in the past.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's heating up all over the state with the fluoride. All the different counties and cities are looking into it. A lot of them are voting to keep it out of the water. Some of them are pushing back. So she'll be a good eyes and ears on the ground from the last meeting and letting us know. And Thomas also wrote an article about it as well.
Yeah. So that's going to be a great show. So everybody stick around for this exclusive interview with Thomas Augustus, editor-in-chief of the Sunshine Journal. And after Thomas, we'll be bringing on Deana. So let's go to our sponsor, Gus Curran's House of Champions.
Tired of the same old workout? Come knock out your fitness goals at Gus Curran's House of Champions. Founded in 1996 right here in Vero Beach, Florida, our Hall of Fame trainers will push you to your limits and beyond. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, we have the perfect class for you, including the one-of-a-kind rock-steady Parkinson's training. So come join the fight and unleash the champion inside you. Give them a call, 772-713-1157, or go to gchouseofchampions.com.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, how are you, Joanne Binford?
I'm doing good. You were busy this week making your rounds.
Oh, I was just being silly.
So give us the lowdown.
What are we low downing on? I mean, we've got Democrats with their hands-off problems. We've got teachers in Brevard calling kids by their preferred names against their parents' wishes. And we've got fluoride being a political football at the city council. I was really surprised that Rob Bolton characterized it that way in regards when he was talking about the Senate bill at the meeting on Tuesday. So, where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, let's start with the parents calling students by the preferred names without their parents.
Yeah, so there's the teacher is Calhoun, Megan Calhoun. She teaches at I guess it's still Satellite High. She's AP English. She's been around for a while, 12 years, I want to say, according to reports. And she was referring to a 17-year-old girl, I believe, as by her preferred name, transgenderism for all of you playing at home. And it was against the parents. And so the parents had a discussion with their child. And they came to find this out, and they filed a formal complaint with Brevard County School District. And there was a 2-week interview process, an investigation. And what happened with Ms. Calhoun is, in that process, she admitted to knowingly flaunting the law. And now, for those of you who've been pulled over by a police officer, when you say, "Yeah, officer, I was speeding," and then you go to court and for that 11 miles over or whatever, and you hear that testimony, you're paying the fine, right?
That's right.
Because you admitted guilt, and that's what she did here. Now, they did not fire her on the spot. They just didn't renew her contract. And as we all know, teacher contracts are renewed on a 10-month basis every 10 months.
That's right. Yeah.
Annually. They start over. Hey, a right to work state. You can just lose it. Now, the question will become this. Does this 12-year teacher who's had experience 12 years teaching AP English, and also at the elementary level for Brevard, will she be decertified by the state? That's a big question, because parental rights is extremely important. This is something that is actually working its way through the national government. So there are people working on a parental rights amendment to the U.S. Constitution. So think about that. I mean, this is serious stuff.
It really is, because parents need to be able to trust the teachers that are overseeing their children throughout the day and educating them. And if they're going to go blatantly against the law, that's really concerning. And I can see if the parents would want her license to be revoked.
Yeah, I could see if the state would want to do that, because it's like, look, part of teaching is following state law for teachers and all these things. And so this is very important. So, I went out to I went out to Brevard because apparently there was going to be a huge street protest. And initially and I went out yesterday. So the students were going to protest. They're going to do a walkout from 12:55 to 1:44 in the afternoon. They were going to get up their gusto. They were going to go meet at the flagpole or wherever out in front of Satellite High. And they were going to say, "Don't fire Miss Calhoun." I mean, a lot of kids seem to like her, and that's understandable. And then there's the whole political issue, the trans issue that's centered around this whole argument. But that didn't happen at the time scheduled, because the school got wind of it and they said anybody who does it's going to get a 10-day suspension. So the walkout became an after-school activity after you walked out of school to go home. Where you normally go home, you should go to the protest. A bunch of kids did meet at the flagpole, but they said the walkout was going to take place at Jackson and the A1A right there in Satellite Beach, Jackson Avenue. Right next door to the McDonald's and the Walgreens. And there was 19 people, 12 of them were adults, and the kids showed up about 45 minutes later, about 6 or 7 of them. And so I was out there with 19 people, and I interviewed, and here's my experience, Joanne. I interviewed that one person who seemed to coordinate everything, known as a digital creator. His name is Paul Lyle. He's on TikTok. He's on Facebook. He's everywhere, telling everyone to watch Cory Booker's Senate filibuster, if you can dare stomach it all, and other things that are Democrat in Democrat political world. And he's out there, and some just interviewing him. I'm asking him questions. I'm asking, and it's a lot of times he says in this thing, he goes, "Well, I can't confirm this for sure. Yeah, I can't confirm this actually happened." But one of the things was, I asked him, I said, "Hey, so how did this come about? Did the student protest this or what?" He says, "Well, the parents, I made a complaint. I can't confirm it, but I think they made a complaint." I'd already known that. I already confirmed that. The school in their press release had confirmed that. And, or I'm sorry, the county did, the school district. And so I said, "So the parents made a choice and filed a complaint. So are you concerned about their parental rights?" And he said, he started looking at me funny. He goes, "Oh, this interview's over."
Like that. What's parental rights?
Yeah. And then he decided to film me and tell me that he goes, "Who's funding the Sunshine Journal?" And I told him, I said, "I'm the editor-in-chief. I'm the owner. I do it all myself." He goes, "That's not true. Trump's funding you." And he told all his audience that Trump's funding me. He said he has about 25,000 on the old TikTok. He goes, "I got 30,000. They're going to love this." And I said, "Oh, great. Thanks for the promo, man." And I went over there. He didn't put it up, so that's fine. I don't care. But all that to say, that's, you and I experienced that last week about going around talking to the Democrats in our community. By the way, April 19th, if you're a Trumper or a conservative, April 19th, 58 and 60, the Democrats are going to be out there again. I think they're going to make this an annual. Every 2 weeks, they're going to go out and protest something about Trump.
Oh, well, Thomas, we have to go out there and report it.
I know we do. Or maybe, we just tell the conservatives to go out there and drop.
We should just hire somebody to follow the Democrat leader.
I know.
So she can be distracted with that person. while we ask people questions.
Oh my gosh. So was that just amazing or what? How she just sort of ran around, and I'm working on this story. I also, the Sunshine Journal was in court for a defamation suit. I don't know if you know this. Someone filed a defamation suit against us, and it was dismissed last night with prejudice.
Cool.
And the judge said that it had no merit whatsoever. So,
Good for you.
I've been just doing a lot of different things here. It's all coming down right now and stuff, and so I've got a lot of stories to write as a result of all this. But I think the funny thing is that I'm looking for that advertisement of their last big thing.
Big rally.
Yeah, because they basically they were protesting everything, right? Oh, here it is. Here, join us in peaceful dissent to tell Trump and Musk to keep their hands off our Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, our wallets, our jobs, our bodies, democracy, personal data, public land, veteran services, cancer research, NATO, immigrants, consumer protections, clean energy, schools, free speech, trans healthcare, and clean air. We'll make a sign for you if you don't. I'm sure you could probably figure out which topic. You and I were there. It was like this smorgasbord of protests.
It really was. There's so many different subjects. And then when you tried to have a conversation about it, nobody wanted to explain it to you.
And how about the one lady who just says, Trump hates America. He wants to destroy it.
Yeah, it made no sense.
And she's out there with her husband. And I was just like, huh? And so that's what it is. And it seems like it's going to be every 2 weeks. The people behind this are 5051. It's 5050.one. If you want to go look, they claim to be grassroots. They started as a little Reddit group and suddenly exploded. Well, then I come to find out through our Mr. Lyle, who I met yesterday in Brevard, the redheaded liberal. He's totally redhead. And I come to find out from him that it's not just 5050.one, it's also Indivisible. Now, Indivisible is the Soros-funded 501c3 that's been doing all the massive this is where that whole USAID Soros money comes from. It's coming back now into the Democrat Party in the forms of Indivisible, and they're out there paying. And I think that's, I'm working on Mr. Lyle. I don't know if he's being paid. He fancies himself a digital creator, but the only thing he creates is political stuff.
Right.
It's hardcore politics. So like he writes a story on Cory Booker talking for 25 hours. Cory, he doesn't really have much to say in 25 minutes.
Well, the Democrat Party must be under a lot of stress and feeling the pressure because Soros is getting on X now talking. Did you see that? Soros?
I did not. No.
Soros was talking on X. I didn't get the whole schmeal of it. I was just running around doing a lot of stuff today, but I was, while I was in the car, I was looking through it and I said, oh, Soros is talking now. He must really be feeling the pressure.
I'll tell you what, and I think what's interesting me more is I've watched today. I went back and reviewed the city council meeting of April 1st and the statements made by Monty Falls and Mayor Coutinho and backed by Linda Moore and the rest of the city council, Taylor Dingle and Aaron Voss. And the whole thing they're facing there in their little spat with Vero News. I find it very interesting because people are using unnamed sources. Just now, I just was reading McNulty's latest piece, and he's like, in the background talks, it's already pretty clear that although no one will say for this article by name, it's pretty clear that they're going to vote for ClearPath. And I'm like, who on city council is talking off the record that ClearPath's a done deal? Now, I will say it's probably got a better chance now that Voss is there. Zudan's was not about spending all that money.
So are they doing that phase one thing where they do give them 90 days to find a financial backer because they didn't have a financial backer, ClearPath.
Correct. And Randy Lloyd is in the article and quoted, he's on the horn right now trying to find someone to finance this thing.
So he's got 90 days to do it.
And he's got 90. That's once they selected, they got a 90-day phase one period, you know. And Suda Madison Marquette, I understand what they were trying to do. They did have the plan at one last time, and that could still happen on April 22nd. That's when the city council votes, you know. And a lot of the reason that plan won wasn't because of the wow factor of ClearPath that people loved. It's because people didn't want the carnival. You know, they didn't want the $500 million deal. They wanted that subtle thing that Suda offered. And Suda Madison Marquette, Continental Companies, and it's Edward Jones. They haven't changed anything in the plan. And they will modify it, just like ClearPath's going to modify theirs should they win.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing. But how can you modify something if you can't even pay for it? That's the question. You can't do any modification.
And that's
you can't do anything.
Hard. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to find a backer in 90 days.
Yeah, and they're on the horn right now. So they've basically had about since 2 weeks prior to March 4th is when Westminster Capitol. And I go back to this whole thing of the square footage, the retail restaurant stuff. You know, the big thing everyone talks about is the financial backer, but the financial backer is going, who's going to operate this property once it's built? That's going to guarantee my investors will get their money back.
Right.
See, Madison Marquette, here's the unique thing about Madison Marquette and the Suda plan and their plan. Madison Marquette develops and then they operate. They're in for the long haul. There's a security for the city in that. Right. And so you look at Ray Bingdole, he's like, well, the ClearPath plan's great. And there's rumor that Madison Marquette may jump ship. And Randy Lloyd wouldn't comment on it. Okay, because that's not a rumor. That's just thrown out there in the newspaper to entice readers in clickbait. That's my view, because he has no backing whatsoever making that statement. Yeah, some people might have said it. Some people might have floated the idea. And it got floated so much, he wrote it down. That's the only thing I can see here. Why would someone bail on their partners? They're probably contractually obligated to them. So Madison Marquette develops and builds. They built the wharf in Washington, D.C. at Georgetown, and the waterfront. And I can tell you, I grew up there. That is the most prestigious location in the whole city on the Potomac River, other than the monuments themselves.
Wow.
You know, where the Lincoln Memorial Bridge is and all that, and the Jefferson sits, where you're not going to build a restaurant. But in terms of public space, that's probably it. At the foot of Georgetown in the basin down there, where the Georgetown crew is running every Sunday morning. I mean, it's a beautiful area of the city, and they develop the whole thing and run it. And ClearPath, for all of the stuff they've done some cool things. They've never built on the water.
Wow. Yeah, and the citizens didn't pick them.
No, not last time. Yeah. And I don't think I haven't looked at any polling recently. I think it probably has gotten tighter just because ClearPath really listened, and they're making this mad push. They are making this mad push to convince the city, roll with us. But if you ain't got no money, you ain't got no money. You know, it's like Tom Cruise says, show me the money. Until you do it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So that's really good information for everybody to know and hear about. And the same thing with the rallies that are going on. And thanks for the update on the next rally coming up.
Yeah, April 19th is what I understand. You know, I've got my few local favorites now to follow on the Democrat world, and they're obviously posting and marketing their rallies and trying to create content, and someone's paying them probably. We don't know who it is yet.
I'd like to see, a lot of people opposing their protest on the other side, standing up for America and Doge and all the things that Trump is doing to get us to move forward. Was there one flag there when we were there?
Yeah, it's, I think it's just because the Democrats work amongst themselves. They're an isolated culture. They're at 21% approval, 23% approval, depending on which poll you look at. High end is 27%. I mean, they're getting down there below mainstream media. And the only people who are out there don't want to talk to you. And they're telling all their friends, like in a cult, hey, don't talk to that guy. The Sunshine Journal is a liar.
Which makes
Joanne Binford a liar. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, man. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like, I'm out here, I've got a sign, I want you to see what I'm about. But when you ask them, what are you about? Oh, don't talk to them. We're live. Everything I say is live now, but don't talk to them because they're not going to tell the truth.
He'll just twist your words. And Joanne's like, we're live. How can we twist anything?
Yeah, what you're saying is what's being heard. So anyway, that was great. So we got to get together and do that protest together and let everybody see it.
I wonder if they'll add to the list, like, vegetarian meals, protest Trump's attack on vegetarian dinners, or a TV dinner. I don't know,
Well, I know.
This is a massive list. We should just... Just cracks me up.
It's
personal
huge.
data, public land, veteran services, cancer, NATO. We're protesting.
They're protesting everything.
NATO. Nobody's paying for NATO but us, and they're upset.
Right. All right, Thomas.
In there.
We got to close out this segment. We're going to take a break, go to a Warrior Shield commercial, and then we'll be back with Deana and Thomas and John Karapi talking about fluoride.
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance or by connecting them with our shared vision network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team-building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight.
Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Deana, right?
Deana.
Deana.
Yes.
How are you, Deana?
Good. Nice to meet you finally. And thank you for the piece that you wrote.
Hey, you're welcome. Anytime.
That was awesome.
It was honest news.
Yes.
John, I can't hear you.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we can't hear you.
I can hear you now, John.
There we go. I don't have Starlink. Deana's she's joining us via remotely. We appreciate
Yes.
you coming in and joining us and giving us an update on the fluoride saga that's going on at the city council. So what do we got going next? I couldn't make the last meeting, so give us a review.
Yeah, no, that was fine. The utilities committee met again and listened to Rob Bolton. They are knowing what's going on. They know which counties, which cities are removing fluoride. They do know that there is a bill, SB 700. It's called the Farm Bill, which includes fluoride, and it passed. I think it passed through 3 committees so far. So they're aware that it's going to pass, and that is what they're saying. They're saying that, why are we going to do this when it's going to pass? And all of us are just like, why are we waiting? What he did say, Rob, was that he is not going to be adding more hydrofluoric acid into the water. Like, they'll use what they have, and then he said by the summertime yes. So I went to Wikipedia, which I don't usually do, but I read them hydrofluoric acid, and I explained to them what exactly it was.
Hydrofluorosilicic acid.
Well, there's 2. There's hydrofluoric acid and hydrofluorosilicic acid. Yes.
But now I'll just tell you, they buy hydrofluorosilicic acid. I have the bill for it.
So the county does hydrofluoric acid, I guess, in the city. Yeah, but they're pretty much, I feel like
I didn't know there was 2 different ones, so thanks for helping me with that.
Yes, right. So it does say it's highly corrosive, that it could be irritating, dangerous levels, even when you ingest it. Skin, nose, throat, eye, burns, bronchitis, buildup in the lungs, bone damage due to hydrofluoric acid, strongly interacting with calcium in bones. So in concentrated form, hydrofluoric acid can cause severe tissue destruction through lesions and mucous membrane damage. And if if it's diluted, then it is still dangerous because it's high lipid affinity, leading to cellular death of nerves, blood vessels, tendons, bones, and other tissues. So my question to them all was, how much poison is okay? One of the city council, the utilities, one of the people that sit on the utility committee, he had asked Rob directly if this, if it's sodium fluoride or hydrofluoric acid, and he said hydrofluoric acid. So they had a vote to see, about getting the council to vote on this, and only one person, which was Tracy Zuan, agreed that she wanted it removed, and none of them else agreed to it. So I went outside on the street with my megaphone and I shamed them all as they were coming out. But I was by myself.
Oh my God. Oh boy.
I did buy a megaphone and I did
So it was
shame them.
4-1. I didn't get to the end with the vote. I just sort of stopped when Rob basically said, I don't know why this isn't going through EPA, or why isn't it going through EPA instead of the agricultural secretary? This just tells you it's all politics.
It is. And it's just disgusting. It's just really disgusting. And I would like to know when they're going to be at events, and I will show up with my megaphone and I will shame them because it's disgusting that they're knowingly poisoning people in their water.
Well, but my thing with that is that water is an agricultural product.
Right.
Is it not? And so
it is agriculture.
It makes perfect sense. We use it not just to drink water like we do, and this is our main concern, obviously, but we water, agriculture with it. We do all those different things with water, and and so it's an agricultural product. So for him to say that this is political is nonsense.
It is. It really is.
It's just further study and understanding the counter effects of something they initially thought was a good idea.
Right. And they have all been saying that it is political. Even in the county is saying that it is political as well, especially with our Surgeon General. They're just saying everything is political. So
the Surgeon General is political? He's a medical doctor.
Well, that is what one of the county commissioners had mentioned. Yes.
Wow.
Which one? Do you know?
Joe Flesher.
Flesher?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I have the bill here, John. the city buys annually 42 tons of hydrofluorosilicic acid
Wow.
at $25,200 or $600 a ton. It's by unit. They get it from Univar Solutions in Kent, Washington. So there you
Okay.
go.
Wow. From
And
Washington.
the
Yeah,
county,
Washington State. So they don't even get it from here where you most find it most concentrated.
well, the county gets it from Canada, and it's 32,000.
That doesn't surprise me either. So
So the county's spending $32K on it annually.
So we're getting it from the farthest point west coast, from Washington State all the way to Florida, and then you're getting it from Canada all the way to Florida. That's how far they're shipping this garbage to put in the water, and we're paying for it. We're paying for our own demise.
It's going to go up in price over tariffs with Canada.
Yeah, they don't even care. They don't even care. They're just like, okay, we'll put it in the budget. We'll go buy it, and then we'll put it in the water because that's what we always do. Because that was Joe Ehrman, if I think he said that. We always do it this way.
Hey, there you go. Probably under additives and modifiers.
Wow. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh
I got that, and
wow.
that's an annual purchase. It's a contract annual purchase by the utilities department.
That's crazy, and we're paying for it, and they don't care, and they're okay with it.
The biggest producer of hydrofluorosilicic acid is here in the state of Florida. In Mosaic, I mean, that's everyone knows it's from the waste of the phosphate.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
And so why aren't you just like going over to Polk County and picking a few tons up every 6 months or whatever?
No, because they make these deals, and they make these underhanded deals with these businesses and these corporations, and then they make the deal with them, and they don't care how far they have to ship it to get it because they made a deal with them. It's all kickback.
They probably got something else going on with old Univar over there and under that additive category.
Yeah,
they're probably getting their chlorine. Who knows? I don't know.
Thank you.
No, you're 100% right. That's what it comes down to. They don't matter where, they don't care where they get it from, as long as they get it, and as long as they put it in the budget, as long as they put it in the water, then they get their kickbacks. That's all it is.
Now, Deana, have you been following Seminole County?
You
can't hear. We can hear you. Well, I'll just say Seminole County chose to ban fluoride.
Okay, I can hear now.
You can hear now. Seminole County chose to ban. Seminole County chose to ban fluoride. Yeah.
Yes. Seminole County. Oh my gosh, they
and Manatee too, correct?
I believe so. Yes. And then Miami-Dade, they won, but now there's talks of the mayor vetoing it.
Yeah. So the mayor. So it was an 8-2 vote.
Yes.
And there's actually 13 people on that commission. So 3 of them weren't there. And it was an 8-2 vote. Then the mayor said she's going to veto. That's what Lapido said was going to happen.
Right.
But they only need 9 to override her veto. So one of those 3 just got to say yes, and it's a done deal.
Okay.
Or the state moves.
Okay.
Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, now, why is the mayor doing that? Like, where's the motive behind that now? It's not just an ideological motive. There's got to be more to it than just that. There's no like, oh, well, I'm just against it because I think it's good for everyone. If there's something else behind these people that are making them stick to their guns and not say, you know what, let's just get it out of the water.
I think it's more like the hands-off mentality of these protests.
And it's interesting because her Instagram account says she's a water warrior and she's here for children and the community and the future. And I'm
like, a water warrior.
So I wrote something on her Instagram.
Hey, you're right.
But that's her biggest issue as mayor.
Yeah.
Fluoride additive that's not really natural calcium fluoride.
Right.
So there's a motive behind it, and then so it trickles all the way down into our backyard. So what's the motive behind why these people are okay with it? They want to hide behind that the state's going to do it, so they just let the state dictate.
That's exactly what's happening.
So
they're waiting
they're
for
off
the
the
state.
hook. Yeah, so they don't. They're like, oh well, we just okay,
Exactly.
we don't do it. Fletcher's like, okay, well, just let it go, because that's what they do. They push
Well,
the goalposts.
I spoke with Ermin and Lore last week about it because I was just like, listen, I'm frustrated. None of you guys are answering my emails. You're not returning my phone calls. Do you want me to go to state? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to work with local government. And then they were just like, well, we're waiting on this bill because sometimes the state might change it. And then we end up changing it. And then we have to change it. Like, I was like, no. I go, be the champion. Be the champion of our county here.
Exactly.
And they're just like, no, we're just gonna wait. And I'm like, all right, okay.
So then
Everybody talks about home rule, but when there's a decision of controversy of any sort, and then you have the state sort of weighing in, they're just going to defer in controversy, meaning that they don't really necessarily want to rule themselves. They don't do what they're called electively to do in things that matter to people in the community. When we come to the realization and gain some knowledge on some things like fluoride, and we say, hey, wait a minute, this is affecting kids. It's affecting umpteen millions of thyroids throughout the United States.
Bones,
and all these
dementia, Alzheimer's,
all these different
IQs.
things. And hey, this is not a consequential move. It's not. Taking fluoride out of the water is not consequential. Leaving it in has more consequence than taking it out.
See, but that's the question of what there is consequences to them if they decide to take it out.
What is that consequence?
I don't know. There's something. That's the question. Where's that consequence?
All about the money.
Exactly.
Follow the money.
Consequences.
Oh, here we go. It's back to hip hop. It's all about the Benjamins.
Yeah. So there you go. So who's the one dangling that carrot that says, "Don't you dare take this fluoride out of the water"?
It's the fluoride lobbyist,
Exactly. So then it goes back to that. So then
it was the 37 dentists that left that conference in Orlando, went over to Seminole in their tooth fairy shirts and got shot down 7-2.
Exactly. That's it.
That dude's standing in there with like a cavity right up here in his head with all his clean teeth on his shirt.
Well, was it Orange County? The mayor had he owns a fluoride company, like a fluoride filter, the filter, right?
Oh my God.
Mayor Dyer does? Buddy Dyer?
No.
Is that Buddy Dyer?
Was it well, Justin posted it. The mayor, was it in Orlando then maybe? I forget.
That's Buddy Dyer. I don't know. I always equate him to the car dealership, but he's not the same guy.
Then that's not. Then
I'm the same guy. He's not related
then.
to the Dyers here.
No, it's the money, and that's why the city of Vero Beach is having problems with financially. Look at all these financial issues they're having with all the audits and all that stuff. There's something going on.
There's something.
Yeah, there's something going on with this whole thing. It's a lot deeper than we realize.
Can't we FOIA request something on them or something? I'm not sure how that works, but or hold their bonds against them.
That requires a lawsuit to hold bond when you start doing bonds.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're bonded that way against legal. They're shielded.
I mean, I know some people were talking about hiring Michael Connett to come, but I guess we'll see about this farm bill what happens because the session ends in May, so we're almost there.
It'll end this April and it'll go in effect pretty much July 1st is when it's all going to shake down.
Okay.
And then Rob was talking about how it would take time to remove it from the system. I'm like, what? There's no off switch.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Just shut the valve, dude. I guess it's not that easy. I am not a utilities director, in case you didn't notice.
Oh.
Right.
No, they can't do it. They can't bring them. The thing is that they can't bring themselves to break out of it and say, you know what, guys, this is not good. I'm not for it. I'm not going for it anymore. And so, count me out. I'm out. They won't do that. They're afraid.
Only one person.
That exact same thing. They don't want to take on the tough issues.
Only one person on the utilities committee. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Tracy she stands on these issues and she takes a lot of flack for it. I wish back in the original Three Corners debate, she just stood firm. But you live and learn, but I was really surprised. I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't stick around for the vote because I didn't realize they were going to vote. I started watching. I'm like, okay, it's going to go into this let's wait and see mode.
Yep.
Well, it
And that's
wasn't a vote for it was more of a vote for them to suggest the city council to vote on it, pretty much.
Yeah.
so it was a vote to recommend.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all.
It
Well, and that's
wasn't.
what they have to do. I mean, Taylor Dingle, he wanted to do it properly, so he decided instead of just bringing it to the city council, he decided to get their opinion on these things and
Yeah.
put it before that commission and have them vote on it. And he got one person to say yay, and you need two more.
Yeah.
So what do we do next?
It's probably going to be a hurry up and wait issue because these guys aren't going to revisit it.
No. But I will try to
Continue
find
to
out.
advocate, of course.
Yeah. And then I will find out where they will be, and I will have conversations with them.
That's
Yeah,
all
you
you
got.
can do.
And then I know some of them are up for re-election, so
Yeah, in the city we have the mayor, and no one's sure if he's running again. But, the mayor and Dingle's up too as well.
Yeah,
Dingle's
Dingle
been a
told me he's
stalwart.
up.
He's been a stalwart,
Yeah.
He's on our side for sure.
Yeah, he's
in
on.
terms of fluoride.
He's on that, and he's on the sides of a lot of other good things too. And he sees the whole thing with three corners, I think, as well. He's a very independent voice up there on a lot of issues. So I like him for that.
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate that because it takes a lot of nerve.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's tough, and they want to single them out, and they're going to do that. They're going to point to the one that doesn't agree with all the rest of them, and so it's good for him and keeping and doing what he's doing. So we can work with who we can work with at this point, and then hope for the best, like you said. Just keep advocating.
Right.
Yeah, but Miami should, if this lady vetoes. There could be still a possibility of overriding. Everything's just sort of going to come together by the time they get to the next council meeting where they could potentially override a veto. This thing might already be passed. This farm bill, because this is a big farm bill. It's not just fluoride farm.
Right.
Yeah,
Now.
a lot of farm. Yeah. What else is significant in the bill?
I just remember trying to find the fluoride in it, and it's like, oh, that's like 3 sentences, and then the rest of it's like 10 pages, and you're going, oh my gosh, there's a lot here. And so it's a very comprehensive package. I think that's why it's going to get through.
Yeah.
Because if it's gone through the 3 committees, like you said, Deana, since it's done that, it's not going to get amended much more.
Right.
That's what all that process was. And the fluoride issue is still front and center in that with all the other things that's in that package.
Right.
Deana, do you think that the weather modification and stuff that's being brought to the forefront, do you think that's going to be next for what's coming, as far as public opinion?
Well, I saw Stand Up for Health Freedom. They posted that passed SB 56, the weather modification. Yeah.
Okay.
It passed out of the Senate.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the next step?
Last Saturday, by the way.
Right.
So what's the next step? Yeah.
I think it has to go through another committee. Apparently, I'm learning the ways here. It's
going to go through the House side. There's going to be a House companion bill. It could be identical. That I'm not sure about. My wife is the only reason I know all this. My wife Angie's been following this very closely because every time she walks outside and sees those lines in the sky, she gets ticked off.
I know.
I got a great meme for. I'll send you that you can send it to she's probably already seen it, but
she's got pictures over the lagoon. It looks like tic-tac-toe.
It's great that my kids could identify them too.
It's sad. It is. I mean, but people are paying attention to it, so it has to be brought to the forefront. That's all. And
right.
We'll just keep doing what we're doing. That's why we do this show. That's why we do the board report. And thanks to Gus Kern from House of Champions for supporting this. And,
thank you, Gus. Yes.
And allowing us to do this and be able to support us. And so he's 110% behind everything that we talk about on this show. And so that's important. So we know who we can go to when we need a voice and we need people to help us out with these issues that we're dealing with. But it's happening. Things are changing. We just have to be patient, and and hope for the best. But we're doing the right thing, and Deana, you're doing a great job. I mean, I commend you. You haven't lived this down that long, and you're standing up to to a lot of people that have been here a long time, and I know that for a fact, because I've seen you and I've been to those meetings, and you have to be about it. You can't just talk about it. You have to be about it. So
Exactly. You have to show up. I'm actually going to. There's a rally happening in Sarasota on Monday with Fauci. He's supposed to. He's one of the speakers. Yeah. So I'm going to that.
All right, that'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, We Are Orlando's doing that, correct?
Yeah. Well. Actually, it's a bunch of different organizations. V's for Vaccine is doing it, and there's another one that I saw, Hollow something, and then We Are Change is going to be there as well.
We Are Change Orlando. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
awesome.
my friend who I've met in New York during the times we were fighting religious exemptions, she kind of organized it. So with V is for Vaccine and a bunch of other people. So it should be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
We should pipe you in, and I'll talk to Mike. I think we could pipe you in and do a little live on the spot correspondent.
Okay. Yeah.
Contributor so that'd be good. That'd be some good content. So
yeah.
I'll talk to Mike, and we're about to bring them. We'll bring in Mike and Joanne on for the panel. I think we can roll around and talk about some other things that have been going on. If you guys want to come on, Joanne, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Oh, let's get Deana on there.
There we go.
I think we lost Joanne. There we go. I think we're all here now. Let me
Hi, Mike.
Put the important people up top there.
Mike was giving me the thumbs up on the Fauci
Yes, video, please send us some video, or if we happen to be live or something like that. Yeah, we'll send you a link and
Okay.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah,
If
we
not,
definitely want to see that.
That's like
Absolutely.
right up Binford Chronicles alley right there. When and Thomas too, the man on the street. This is like good stuff. It's like, the fluoride thing, it just shocks me. Like Thomas, you said Dingle. I still can't. I have a hard time calling him that.
Call him Taylor.
Councilman Taylor gave them every opportunity, gave them all the information.
Yeah.
And it wasn't unanimous. Like, I don't understand. What's that?
It was 4-1 against, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. Like, I don't understand why why we're even going to talk about it again. It should have been 5. Done.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I was really shocked.
Yeah, return the vendor. Like, let's just get rid of this crap. Like, hazmat it, whatever you got to do. It doesn't make any sense why they're putting it in the water.
Well, they know. I mean, I started yelling on the street, and they heard me.
Mike, think about this.
You go, girl.
Mike, so 42 tons annually quantity. That's what we're purchasing.
That's a lot.
Crazy.
That's almost 4 tons a month. Wait, 12 times 3, 36, 6 leftovers. That's 3.5 tons a month into your water system.
That's crazy.
Just in the city.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why they won't stop using it. They spent all that money on that, and they're not gonna. They're just not gonna let it go to waste.
No.
And I don't know
they're gonna use the rest of it.
Yeah, the well water, even the groundwater, is a little suspicious now with never mind all the chemicals from all the agriculture all over the years, but the wastewater from municipalities, what's happening with that? Whatever isn't consumed is just getting put back into these treatment plants or runoffs. Yeah, it's a little concerning. Like we're literally poisoning or medicating without consent. It's
exactly. Horrible. It's my body, my choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Except for Hills.
How did that happen? How did that thumbs up get there?
I don't know. I was looking too. I think
that was pretty cool.
Maybe reactions turned on with
What's
their
going on?
Oh yeah, it's weird. I'm not doing anything.
That's right. Thumbs up. That's all that matters.
She's our thumbs up guest of the week.
Right.
So you mentioned I'm going to be honest, the shit show in Brevard County. It just seems like the more you pay attention to Southern Brevard politics or Brevard politics, whether it's fluoride or city council drama and this and that. The teacher. I mean, not too long ago, I saw the comments on the Miss Calhoun thing via
Yes.
the Space Coast rocket, and you know, what you said makes sense. Her contract wasn't renewed. I'm not going to renew a contract of somebody who's not following the rules or going to create more controversy. Maybe I'm not going
Knowingly
to
not
fire.
following the rules,
Right.
knowingly, deliberately
And
not
admittedly.
following law.
But then some others have a problem because apparently, and I don't know for a fact, but the teacher or the principal that had the house party
Yeah.
got reinstated.
That's right. Yeah.
When
So
this teacher was there, quote unquote, she said in her testimony, supporting the other teachers that had the party. I guess those two teachers rented a house or something. I don't know what that relationship was. But she was there supporting them, even though when the cops showed up in the testimony, it says she was smash mouth drunk and yelling at them for trying to help the kid who was throwing up in the front yard. And yes, she got reinstated quietly at another school. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, in a court case, like any other court case, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So these people in the eyes of the school, they're still innocent until they're actually formally convicted of whatever they're being charged with.
Right.
So they go on administrative leave until that case is resolved, until that investigation and the case is resolved. Now, we may not like it, but that's the way our jurisprudence works. Whereas someone says in the investigation, oh yeah, I knowingly broke the law. Okay, you knowingly broke the law. We're not renewing you. So over a name, it sounds really crazy because we've got these people. I think they should stay on administrative leave. They shouldn't be allowed back into the schools. You know, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. You do not get the privilege to teach.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
their
You do not get the
influence
privilege
means a
to teach.
lot.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
to the kids, just like these kids for this teacher on the transgender name usage. What happened? All the kids wanted to go protest. It's not teaching the kids that you're supposed to follow the law. It's teaching the kids that if you don't want to follow the law, now go out and protest.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just seems like the part, especially, you know, I mean, I guess it's all a Brevard. The school board has been a mess for the last decade. We saw that travesty with Jen Jenkins, the principal, the teacher, Miss Calhoun, and we see. I've got an image I wanted to show you. Like, I'm not a veteran, but this stuff kind of bothers me. I don't know if you're familiar with Grant Valkyria area. It's kind of out of our jurisdiction, but they're putting in a new veterans memorial, and this is supposedly a statue they have commissioned. And apparently, like, to my eye, I don't know any different, but to somebody, I think, Joanne, you might be a veteran, right?
My husband's a veteran, and my husband looked at it as well. But another veteran was there and mentioned something. Richard Dockery, he's a veteran, and the lady basically told him, if you don't like it, don't go visit it. Even after he explained to her all the wrongs with this picture.
Apparently, he's dressed as a communist Chinese soldier with some Ukrainian, magazine holders. Like, the guy was able to pinpoint everything, the statue. So they're
all the way
having,
down to the dog backpack is wrong.
yeah,
That's horrible.
So it's been kind of like, let me get us back to normal
It's
here.
more of an insult to veterans to build a monument that doesn't even represent who they are.
Right. And
Historically,
what
it's not accurate.
fascinates me is Grant Valkyria is not that old of a municipality. They incorporated probably 12 years ago ish to keep Palm Bay from encroaching on their territory. Palm Bay's been trying to incorporate Southern Brevard for decades now. But what fascinates me is, though, none of the council members are elected. They were all appointed, and they appoint their replacements. They vote on their any vacancies, and it blows my mind that
Wait. None
yeah,
of the council members are elected?
their first election
No.
since 2012 will be in 2026.
Wow.
So these guys in Grant have something to lose here if they don't fix this travesty. Supposedly,
Right.
this is coming from China, by the way. And it's not made local, and
No.
it hasn't been made
Wow.
yet. But this is the cast of what it will be. It's pretty bad, and it's not
There's going
very
to be
popular.
104% tariff on it, though.
Right.
Right.
It's gonna get
Well, maybe
clogged.
DeSantis needs to put his own tariff on it.
My
But I think
God.
it's bad. So I put out a call to action today for anybody willing to drop a phone call to the city council there in Grant Valkyria or email them. Supposedly, they told other people that called that they're welcoming all the calls they can, but I think it was a little sarcastic. And
Of course.
but they have something to lose because
Do they route your call through Indonesia?
you know what? I have no idea. But growing up in southern Brevard, in the northern county here in Indian River, I'm surprised that. I'm not surprised because apparently all these sitting members were called out for being millionaires. So Valkyria's got a lot of wealth tucked away in the back roads too. So money talks, especially in local politics. I just can't believe they haven't had an election by the residents
Right.
at all. And I'm
Wow.
That's
still wondering who
crazy.
appointed the
That's
initial.
criminal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, how did that all start?
I don't know, but apparently there's these special recreation district type governments like Barefoot Bay, but at least they have elections, and where you have these special taxing authorities. But at some point, somebody's paying for the statue.
It's
And
like an incorporated town, like Town of Orchid or something.
yeah.
So could somebody
Yeah.
write to the governor and tell him this is going on?
Well, apparently, if you get in the comment section, a lot of people have, and they're including a lot of veteran affairs officials in different different groups and counties and stuff like that. We shared it. I shared it across Twitter. Hopefully, we kind of annoyed him enough. But he posted an update that Richard Dockery, I think it was just before we went live, that he has still not gotten an update or any kind of response from his communications with them and since the last meeting. Apparently
Yeah.
there's another meeting coming up. I don't know, but
I know I shared it with some friends that do a lot of work with the veterans. So hopefully their group will get on top of it too.
yeah. So I wanted to throw that out there, but that's pretty much all I had for you guys. I don't want to take Deana away from the game. Is that a football game, Deana?
No, it's my daughter's softball game. It's a tournament up in Longwood.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
How's their batting average?
Good batting average.
Oh, hers? Well, it's varsity, but she's JV, so I don't even know if she'll be playing. So we'll see.
Jeez.
Oh, gotcha.
I've got-
Masters Academy doesn't have a middle school softball team, but
Okay.
but the coach is excellent, and he'll throw the girls in when he can.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So if they don't have their own softball team, they can play out of another school that does have a softball team, right?
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
didn't know
scared.
that.
I've got 3 little ones, and at least one of them is really into sports so far. And I'm just scared of the traveling. And, I've had friends that did the soccer, and it was just, hopefully he gets into computer programming, but stays active.
Yeah, well, my 9-year-old son is on travel baseball too, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, that's a tough schedule. Oh my heavens, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So I'm hopping around everywhere, and then homeschooling, and then showing up at these meetings. So.
That's amazing. Thank you for everything that you do. And
Oh
you're
well, thank
so
you
on
for
top.
having me. Having me on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime, Deana.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's all I've got. John or Joanne, do you have any more for these guys?
Nope. Just stay tuned. We also have Indian River Connections, the connecting people and places. So we'll be having guests on that. I'm trying to hook up with Leslie Swan. She'll be on there, and Ryan Butler to bring us some information about his office and what they can do to help you and single parents as well. They also have like pro bono ways to get help if you need an attorney. So that's going to be really informative. So visit us every Friday at 7 p.m. for the board report. And John, you have anything to add?
Yeah, just check out the most recent podcast that we did on the Peoples and Places as well. We did Bates Heating and Air. We also have Voices for Children up there now. We have a couple more that we have lined up that are coming up that we're trying to work on. So keep that in mind. And then we're hopefully working with a couple other nonprofits here in town that are going to start their own podcast. So it's we're excited. There's a lot going on here in River Connection. So check it out.
Voices for Children, they're going to be sponsoring the Connecting People for Places podcast for a few months, and they have a big baseball game, a fundraiser coming up on the 18th.
We'll be there.
Right,
18th.
Are you going? Nice. All right.
Yeah.
awesome.
Right.
John, you're going to go too, right?
I think so. I think I'm going to go, and then I'll touch base with them and get your tickets, and you can. I think Thomas is going to do a piece on the organization too, as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll be visiting with them tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, and on the 18th, I'll be at the Hispanic Club because they're doing a fundraiser for the J6ers. And if anybody's been watching Binford Chronicles, I've been trying to get the word out on the J6ers because they really need help even after their pardon. It's just been so difficult for them. So that's another podcast to watch on the 18th as well.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sweet.
That's all I got, guys. Thank you. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a follow and drop a comment. You can always email us. Also, if you have anything you want to say off air, I put out a request to get people's opinion on the statue. Let us know how you feel about that. And that's all I got.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Great show.
Thank you. You guys have a wonderful evening.
All right.
You too, Dan.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more. Sponsored by Gus Curran's House of Champions.